Welcome into the huddle. NC State, Virginia Tech, 22 minutes out there, and that's right. Braxton Burmeister, the Oregon transfer, gets the start at quarterback for the Hokies. News breaking that Virginia Tech will be without 23 players listed as unavailable, as well as 2 coaches. One of those players, former starting quarterback Hendon Hooker, as well as their new defensive coordinator, Justin Hamilton, who replaces Bud Foster. So, as you look at it, this is going to be an uphill climb for Virginia Tech as they get set to host an NC State team that's surprised in week 1. Let's get right to it, everybody. We've got the fellas here with me. Eric McLean, Coach Mark Richt, EJ Manuel, 23 players unavailable, 2 of the coaches. Coach, how do you forge forward in a game like this, understanding what you're fighting against?
Well, I know it's frustrating for everybody. It's sad for everybody. It's tough for everybody. But guess what? You got to play a football game. You can't sit there and cry about it. You got to go play ball. Whoever's in there has got to go. You know, if it's your second or third team offensive lineman, you got to go, man. So, you know, I don't think anybody's going to sit here and try to make excuses, although this is about as good of an excuse as I could ever have, besides my dog eating the term paper. But I'll tell you what, it is a tough situation right now. And I picked him to win the game. I wish I'd have known all that beforehand.
Coach, I agree, man. This is probably the toughest situation you would expect going into your first game of the season. But look, I mean, we all knew coming into the year that this is something that could happen. Obviously, I think to this magnitude, this is probably the first that we've seen 20-plus players and then two coaches, one being the defensive coordinator, not be able to, you know, help the team tonight, their first game. So, like Coach said, I mean, next man up, and it's just a crazy time again, but you got to be able to adjust. And I think Virginia Tech will still go out there and put a good foot forward tonight versus NC State.
EJ, I think you're right. I think they will. The good thing about this Virginia Tech team is they have so many guys coming back, so much experience. Now, you saw that list of names. A lot of those guys are out of this game, which it's very unfortunate and just the world that we're living in. But again, a team that has that experience, has the leadership. We've only heard great things coming in and out of camp with these guys. It's going to be very interesting to look at and see what this product is going to be on the field tonight, though.
It is truly any person's guess what kind of product you're going to see from the Hokies here, and we find out in just about 20 minutes. Forgettable one for Duke, but
how about Wayne Talapapa?
Yeah, how about Wayne? Well,
He's a beast. I'm sorry.
We'll talk a little bit about him, Coach. I know this guy excites you.
I just love watching Talapapa finish the game the way he did.
Yeah, how about some Bailey Hockman as well? Looking to build momentum from his performance last
Let's go,
week.
Bailey.
20 minutes out. NC State, Virginia Tech. More huddle when we come back. De'Ara King dealing early. As for NC State, Virginia Tech, we are 13 minutes away from kickoff in his 8th season. Dave Doran looking to improve to 2-0 after that impressive season debut last week, beating Wake Forest. More huddle coming at you. Guys, we're just moments away now from NC State and Virginia Tech. EMAC, what are your expectations and what we're about to see here?
JC, I honestly have no expectations. With so many guys out, it's hard to determine what you're going to see from one team. But, you know, NC State might roll. You know, we saw them a week ago look very confident in their gameplay. Bailey Hockman, which EJ did a fantastic tape on earlier in the day, looked like money. So, EJ, I think those guys look good. What about you?
I appreciate it. I was going to say the same exact thing because if you said anything that you knew what was going to happen tonight, I'd have been shocked. I don't think any of us know. We don't know what Virginia Tech's going to look like with so many players being out. Yeah, exactly. So we do know that NC State played well last week. They had a good job on offense, decent job on defense. Hopefully they can clean that up versus the Hokies tonight. So we're going to see what's going to happen here in a few minutes.
I gotta believe the Wolfpack are going to be ready to go. They had a great outing last week, but how good was Wake Forest? I don't know. But they played well offensively, didn't slow Wake down after losing all the skill guys, so I'm still a little concerned about NC State's defense. So, you know, but what's Virginia Tech got, as we've been saying all night? But Virginia Tech is going to rise to the occasion and play their tails off. It ought to be a great game.
Emac, Bailey Hockman showed that he is a capable quarterback in this league. What strides do you want to see him take today?
You know, just a little bit more of that deep ball threat, you know, and maybe that's not their offense, but that's what I would love to see, you know, attack this defense, especially with the guys out. You know, I saw Fuller is out in a tweet. That's going to be their best corner. So they're missing, you know, 2 guys. One went to the NFL to train early and one is out today. So I would attack deep and often just to really see him. But that accuracy was on point. There was a time where he was 12 for 12 in that last game against Wake Forest. So just his confidence in building on a performance from week 1.
EJ.
I agree. I think the biggest thing for Bailey is just to continue to let the game come to him. He doesn't need to rush. He doesn't need to feel like he needs to do anything more than what he did last week. One thing I just loved was that he had everybody in the right position. When he had a slide protection by his offensive line and his running back would scan and pick up a opposing blitzer off the edge like a nickel back. And he was just able to sit in the pocket and deliver. And I think that's what he can do for that team. And then when things break down in the pocket, like a lot of ACC quarterbacks are doing, they're taking off and making plays with their legs. So he's going to have to do that tonight because we all know Virginia Tech always brings a great pass rush.
I'm interested to see what Burmeister's going to do. You know, it'll be the first time I've really had a chance to see him play a good little bit. And, you know, I'm assuming Hooker is one of the guys that's affected with the COVID. And that's why that has happened. It seemed like Hooker was going to be the guy without any question. Then all of a sudden, we got Burmeister taking a press conference. We're wondering, why would the second-team quarterback take the press conference at the QB spot? But that's what happened. So hopefully everybody's okay. Hopefully Hooker's okay. And all those kids, I hope they're okay.
5 career starts for Burmeister as an Oregon Duck. We'll see what he can do as a Hokie. We've got the call right now. Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck, and Katie George.
Tonight in Blacksburg, there will be college football at last as the Hokies finally get on the field, even though for Coach Justin Fuente, nothing was really certain until this morning. Dave Doran and the Wolfpack know that story very well, but they've already got a victory under their belt and are set for a conference battle just moments away. Welcome to ACC Network Football presented by Geico, and tonight from Lane Stadium, it's the NC State Wolfpack facing number 20 Virginia Tech. The Hokies' 3rd attempt to open their 2020 season. COVID-19 testing was still a major issue just hours ago, but the game will be played. We are coming to you from our homes. Dave O'Brien alongside Tim Hasselbeck. Katie George is on site there in Blacksburg. And Tim, the NC State running attack was deadly last Saturday.
It was really impressive, Dave. There's no doubt about that. They basically decided to line up and run the stable of backs that they have. Ricky Person nearly 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And when it wasn't Person, it was Zonovan Bam Knight on that left side. He's probably their most complete back. But they also have Jordan Houston that they can throw into a mix. Kind of a change of pace back. All of them effective. Much of their yardage coming from the left side of that offensive line. Really impressive group in that running back room.
Last Saturday, a combined 270 yards. And look at all of those 20-yard runs. 7 of those and 4 touchdowns, 4 rushing TDs by 3 different players. Now, the coaching staff has been hit especially hard for Virginia Tech. First-year defensive coordinator Justin Hamilton was set to follow the legendary Bud Foster in his debut tonight, but he will not be involved at all. Instead, cornerbacks coach Ryan Smith will call the defensive plays. And Tim, Coach Fuente has one thin staff for opening night.
He certainly does, and he's had coaches unable to coach during the week leading up to this game. He's had coaches out tonight, and so the challenge for Ryan Smith, not yet 30 years old, now finds himself calling plays for the first time in a long time here in Blacksburg, with it not being Bud Foster. So a huge challenge for the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Well, contact tracing has hit the quarterback room hard as well, and for more on that story, let's bring in Katie George.
Well, guys, the expected starting quarterback, Hendon Hooker, was just released from quarantine yesterday. As a result, he will not be available to play in tonight's game. Instead, Braxton Burmeister will get the start. Now, Justin Fuente said a couple of weeks ago that both guys had earned the right to play in Game 1. That's how highly they think of both players and their abilities. Unfortunately for Hooker, the timing of his return is just too recent, whereas Burmeister was released from his quarantine last Sunday and had a week's worth of preparation for NC State, Dave.
Well, he should be a lot of fun to watch. He's going to be one of the fastest men on the field all night long, and he's going to get a crack at it right away because NC State won the toss. They've deferred to the second half, so Virginia Tech to receive. Great to have you with us tonight here in the ACC. It has been one very full day and now night of college football all across the country. And Gill will kick this one right at the 5-yard line. Herbert got a block initially, but gets it out to about the 25-yard line. A 20-yard return. Braxton Burmeister sat out 2019 after transferring from Oregon. Started 5 games, Tim, as a freshman there, and he did throw 6 interceptions.
You know, he's an interesting player. He's a very good athlete. Justin Fuente talked a lot about his speed and the fact that he's probably the fastest quarterback they have at Virginia Tech, which is saying something because they do have 2 other capable runners in that quarterback room.
Al Herbert with him in the backfield. He'll get the first carry, and a big hole opens up as he cuts to his right across the 50 before he is dragged down for a huge gain. First play goes for 31 yards.
Yeah, you look at just a simple zone read, and you just see that, defense split for North Carolina State, and then a bad angle, by Jakeem Harris. As Khalil Herbert just shows his speed. He's a powerful back, but good speed once he got to the second level.
They rushed for 14 touchdowns at Kansas, and already quickly across midfield. First down and 10. And off the fake, he'll fire, and that one is complete to Turner. Turner dragged down after a big gain. Well, they call him Big Play Trey, the top returning wide receiver from a season ago. That goes for 16.
A nice start here for Burmeister. You see here, just basically his own read. He's going to read that linebacker. As that linebacker steps up on the bubble, there's a little window in behind it. It's an easy throw to start off the night for Burmeister.
So the Hokies moving it quickly here. Another first down. Burmeister, the junior, out of La Jolla, California. And in control of the offense here on opening night for the Hokies. Herbert trying to find the edge out there, but he gets tangled up, and he's taken to a stop at about the 30. That'll gain 1 yard. Now, we've already seen a couple of these guys impact skill players, and including Trey Turner, who can really rip off a run too if you're not careful about covering the wide receivers on this side. They can really burn you. Just getting started, second down and 9. And the handoff this time for Blackshear, and not much there as Isaiah Moore takes him down. In fact, he loses 2.
And Isaiah Moore, who we saw last week, a really good player, good instincts, does a nice job of basically just, diagnosing the run and then just go ahead and split it, just hit it before the guard can get up to that second level. It's a nice job of seeing it and attacking it downhill by Isaiah Moore.
So third down and 11 here for the Hokies. He's going to throw to the sideline, but incomplete. So that will go for absolutely nothing after moving the chains very quickly on the first couple of possessions. And Robinson, the intended receiver. Well, COVID issues got so bad this week for Virginia Tech. Their number 1 and number 2 long snappers were actually scratched, prompting tryouts basically on Thursday. Walk-on Enzo Anthony, who did snap at Virginia last year, he won the job, but Coach Fuente was saying that they were pulling people off the street effectively to try out. This will be from 47 yards. And that is up. And that is good. Bryant Johnson to stick that one. And Virginia Tech on a long field goal takes a 3-0 lead. Back in Blacksburg, and it feels like you're always going to get exceptional special teams play when you're talking about the Hokies. And Bryant Johnson, right out of the gate, fires up a 47-yard field goal, nailing his last 13 going back to last season. And he has put the Hokies in front here 3-0. NC State to get the football for the first time. And Johnson's 35th career made field goal. So the Hokies to kick off. And soon enough, Bailey Hockman will get his hands on the football again. And he led his team, NC State, to a very impressive win last week, 45-42 over Wake Forest. That was Saturday night in Raleigh.
Yeah, North Carolina State found themselves in a situation much like Virginia Tech is facing tonight. Bailey Hockman had been available to practice. He had practiced well. The coaches felt like he gave them their best chance to win last week. And after how he played a week ago against Wake Forest, they feel like he gives them the best chance this week.
They did throw one pick six in that game. Look out for the trick plays tonight as well. It's Person with the first carry. And stopped by Justice Reed. He'll pick up 2 yards on the first play for the Wolfpack tonight. NC State impact skill players, and they have plenty of them. And guys who can do multiple things. Ricky Person's a guy who can throw a touchdown pass as well. This is Bam Knight looking for that sideline before he is bottled up.
And Davey said it was Ricky Person and Bam Knight a week ago, both of them just on the field at the same time right there. You know, Bam Knight probably the better all-around back, but you know, Ricky Person is a tough runner. Jordan Houston, who we'll see, has a lot of speed, and then Zonovan Bam Knight, kind of a combination of the two.
Well, a moment right away here for Hockman on 3rd and 3. And a whistle and a flag. 11-12 to go here in the first.
Offense number 6, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Now they're going to get Angeline, the tight end, for that penalty. Transfer from USC, who did catch a touchdown pass against Wake Forest. So back it up to 3rd and 8 for the Pack. Hockman was 16 for 23, very steady in the opener, 191 yards and a touchdown, and ran for one. He's a left-hander. And it collapses, and they come and get him. Reed all over him for the sack. And a loss of 9.
Yeah, kind of a long developing play. They're trying to run some crossing routes, and Angeline ends up coming free, but you just see that 3-man rush, just too much for that NC State offensive line, and Reed able to get home.
3 and out. Defense had 38 sacks in 2019. Of course, Bud Foster's defense just got after the quarterback like nobody's business, leading everyone in total sacks going back to 1996. So forcing the punt. And Trenton Gill. Robinson back to receive. Backpedaling to the 25. Going to run it out of there and slips. Otherwise, that could have been very interesting. Long punt of 57, return of 11. Virginia Tech up 3-0.
ACC Network Football is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And in part by Farm Rich. Grab a snack.
I think fans are going to miss that lunch pail a little bit, aren't they? Well, Virginia Tech defensive coordinator just flat got it done. But over the years, 35 shutouts, 45 defensive players drafted, 11 in the first round. What a legacy.
Had a chance to play against him a few times, and it was always a headache. They certainly found ways to get to the quarterback.
Man, did they ever. Hokies up by 3. Breaking out to the left side, and a fine run here by Burmeister. You talked about this before the game, Tim, that what he's going to do is hurt you with his legs. That's 22 yards.
And he's a speed runner, not a power runner like Quincy Patterson. It's just quarterback sweep. with Khalil Herbert as the lead blocker. And they do a good job of just bodying everybody up. But look how he does. He pushes the perimeter, gets skinny, and then gets vertical. That's a nice job and good move in the open field.
So another first down for the Hokies. First down and 10 for Burmeister. Working out of the shotgun. Little play action. He'll take it himself right up the middle. And stopped by Ashford to bring up second down.
That's a good
next
quick
Saturday,
decision.
A college football triple header coming your way right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. NC State squaring off against quarterback Kenny Pickett and number 21 Pitt at noon. That'll be Virginia Tech and Duke, followed by Clemson, the number 1 team in the country, taking on Virginia. That'll be at 8 o'clock, our primetime matchup presented by Geico. Second down 5 for the Hokies. Another big hole opening up for Herbert. He cuts across the 20 to the sideline. He's gone into the end zone. Khalil Herbert for 6, 37 yards. Off to the races.
It's a really good job. Darisaw and Smith on the left side of that offensive line get great movement, and I've really been impressed by the speed of Herbert here. As you see, Ashford just takes the wrong angle based on Herbert's speed in the open field, and so he runs right through that angle and ends up scoring a touchdown.
So he had a 291-yard game against West Virginia. And already 69 yards on 3 carries and a touchdown tonight. He certainly looks ready here on opening night. Well, a dash into the end zone by the running back Khalil Herbert. Oh, by the way, he can catch a football too. 24 receptions while with Kansas, so not great news for NC State. That scoring drive is 3 plays, 64 yards in just 90 seconds. So the Hokies to kick off on top 10-0 here with about 8.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Our Geico player spotlight. And it's Ricky Person, who had a terrific season opener with 99 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns.
He really did. He was fun to watch for us last week, Dave. I mean, just did a good job running the football. They got down into the red area, used him a number of different ways, and we even saw the Tebow jump pass out of Ricky Person down in tight.
To perfection. So he had an outstanding game. So did Bam Knight. Jordan Houston contributed with about 60 yards as well. Then a handoff for Person. Staying behind his blockers on the first carry. Stopped by Alan Tisdale. That'll pick up 5 yards. The capacity here at Lane Stadium is 66,000. About 1,000 fans permitted in. This is truly one of the great home field advantages in all of college football. The incomplete pass intended for rooks. And Tim, you can speak to that personally, how hard it is to try and come in here and win when this place is packed.
Yeah, people always ask me, the toughest place, you've ever played, and it would be in Blacksburg for me. I mean, those stands feel like they're right on top of you. It's as loud as any stadium I had ever been in, and so, to travel and play here without fans or that band in the stands is definitely a different experience.
3rd and 6, Hockman back to throw, and that's going to be picked. Intercepted. Well, it's the second week in a row he's been picked off. Divine Diablo, who has one of the great names in all of college football, with a terrific play.
And we thought defense was going to be a concern coming into this game, but Divine Diablo does a great job right there. Just reads the route, undercuts it, and then just an incredible play on the football. He said he likes the pattern in his game after Jamal Adams and Tyrann Mathieu. Well, that looked like it there. What a play.
We had a great conversation with him this week. He's such a cool, collected guy and plays a very highly intelligent brand of defense, as most of the Hokies do, and paying off immediately. Burmeister will take it. Nudged out of bounds here on the carry by Ashford. And he's going to gain 5 yards.
And that's another just design quarterback sweep and, great movement by this offensive line of Virginia Tech. They played some young guys a year ago. Certainly have a lot of starts under their belt as a group.
Burmeister back to throw over the middle, and that one is complete. Complete to the tight end, Mitchell.
Get a sense here of the touch by Burmeister. It's a pretty good job of getting it up and down over Isaiah Moore before Jakeem Harris can get there to his big tight end, James Missile. Good anticipation. Nice touch on the football.
19-yard gain to the 6'3 tight end out of Big Stone Gap, Virginia. And another first down for Virginia Tech. And first and goal here for the Hokies as they're knocking on the door again, already leading it 10-0 over the Wolfpack. Burmeister with the handoff for Blackshear. Into the end zone he goes. And he dragged the strong safety Ashford with him. And another touchdown for Virginia Tech.
And just look at the movement of the guys up front. It's a zone play. See everybody moving to the right. Blackshear does a nice job of pressing the hole, pushing it right, and then just putting that right foot in the ground and getting vertical. See everybody move to the right. Then just does a great job of getting his shoulder square and up the field after pressing the hole.
8
There
yards
saw the left
for the
tackle
touchdown.
excited.
16-0 Virginia Tech. And Johnson on for the point after, and he'll drill it. So for the Hokies, Tim, they could not have asked for a better start than this, leading 17-0, 3 possessions, 3 scores.
Yeah, it's really incredible. We talked to Justin Fuente, and it was all about, hey, we've had so many guys miss practice. It's basically been, contact tracing, affecting the offense, affecting the defense, affecting the coaching staff, and I think there was a real concern about how ready his football team would be. You don't have coaches that can coach guys. Blackshear, who just scored a touchdown, became back available to the team yesterday. But they look like a well-oiled machine at this point against an NC State defense that played really well a week ago.
Impressive. 17 points in 5:02. Well, last week we were talking about the Wolfpack against Wake looking like they were shot out of a cannon. Tonight, it's the number 20 team in the country, the Hokies of Virginia Tech. And off to a spectacular start. And they will kick off once again. And into the end zone. It'll be down there and out to the 25. It will come. The Hokies, their 3rd attempt to open a 2020 season, still dealing with COVID-19 issues all week long. The season was supposed to begin on September 5th at Liberty against Liberty, but the ACC went to the new schedule, followed by 2 cancellations, and finally they get opening night. And they are in full attack mode, so now Bailey Hockman tries to counter.
Well, and the good news for Bailey Hockman, Dave, you said on the last drive, this is a tough place to play. The one thing he has going for him right now, he's not fighting that Virginia Tech crowd noise.
So Hockman will hand off here, try in the middle. It's Van Knight. Stopped by Alan Tisdale. That's a gain of 2, and let's go to Katie George.
Well, guys, when I talked to Tim Beck this week, he was very complimentary of Hockman, and he said even when he threw the pick last week, he was so poised, and he bounced back and drove the team down the field. They had a very casual conversation over here on the sidelines, and they hope he has that same poise today.
Knight again, big hole there, staying on his feet before finally stopped. Divine Diablo just had that pick a moment ago. That picks up 12 yards.
And I think for NC State, what they need to do offensively if they're trying to settle their quarterback down after a critical error is run the ball on the left side of that offensive line. Did a great job a week ago. I think that's the strength of what they do offensively.
Another running play this time by Knight, but not much there. Stopped by Tisdale again. And they want to run behind Ike Egwenu whenever they can, and the offensive line was huge last weekend. Every Sunday, The offensive staff will hand out bottles of maple syrup to players commemorating pancake blocks from Saturday. And Icky has quite a collection going. He has 41 now. He had 4 from last weekend. The sophomore left guard. Hockman to pass this one. Fires that one complete. And Mezzi finally taken down by Jenkins. And that'll be a pickup of 4 yards for the Pack.
And Keontae Jenkins, an interesting player there. You know, the true freshman, finds himself kind of in the starting lineup tonight. And that's a nice play in the open field on Mezzi, who's a big, strong runner once he has the ball.
Yes, 6'3", 220, the senior. 3rd down and 4. Hockman in the pocket. It collapses. Down he goes again. He's been sacked twice now. Taken down by Richard Ashby. No shock there. He's one of the best in the business.
Yeah, you see Ashby's just going to add on there, and Hockman needs to get rid of that football. I don't know why he decided to hold it. He was getting ready to just throw a little stick route to his right. The last second decided to pull it down, and leads to the sack by Ashby.
Ashby led the ACC with 120 tackles out of that middle linebacker spot last season. Second team all ACC. So forcing the punt here by Trenton Gill. Taven Robinson back to receive. Both of these sides have outstanding special teams. Robinson looking to get outside on an edge here. He's chased down and taken down at the 15-yard line. A 58-yard punt. He returned it 9 yards. So Virginia Tech with a 17-0 advantage here in the first quarter. We invite you to join Packer and Durham weekdays from 7 to 10 a.m. Indeed, pull up a chair. All things ACC. Spectacular coverage of the conference in all sports. Virginia Tech has already rushed for 108 yards in the first quarter, and plenty of time left here, Tim.
Plenty of time, and I don't know that you change the plan with how it's been working.
Burmeister, the number 2 quarterback, will play fake. He's going to throw that one and complete. And a nice catch made by Robinson to pick up the first down, and then some, 19 yards.
And you just take a look here. It's kind of a zone read, one pass option, and Burmeister gets absolutely drilled, but still able to get a good, accurate throw in there after Calvin Hart puts him on the ground.
Now the Oregon transfer has looked very cool in this start tonight. Out of the gun, into the flat, complete to Herbert, who's been such a factor here early on. He was met by Isaiah Moore. No gain on that play. Moore, the team captain, 3-year starter, chosen by Dave Doran to wear the number 1. It's a special honor, very rare for a non-senior. Only Jalen Samuels was chosen to wear a number 1 as far as Doran's other underclassmen.
It was interesting to hear Tony Gibson says as fine of a person as he's ever been around at that age. Quite a compliment.
Yes, indeed. 2nd down and 10. Quarterback will keep it. And right into the center of the line. Burmeister goes down. Moore again. He'll get credit for the tackle. Now, the Hokies seemingly always have great defense, but you look at the number 1 jersey honorees under Dave Doran. He's had some really outstanding defenders in his own right. We mentioned Jalen Samuels. Moore, the de facto leader of this team's involvement in social justice as well. 3rd down and 7. And a quick hit. That's to Robinson. And stopped by Malik Dunlap. That gains only 1 yard.
And that's a big stop by that NC State defense, because this, had a chance to really start to unravel on you quickly, down 17-0, and to be able to get off the field, give the offense another chance, kind of needed to happen. You hate to say that early in a football game, but it was a much-needed stop.
Hokies with their first punt, as Bradburn does get it off, but short, and a fair catch in decent field position here, as that one traveled 35 yards. And gives the Pack another crack at it with about 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter, and Virginia Tech with a 17-0 lead. Now the Pack is going to be on the road for 3 consecutive weeks. They're here in Blacksburg, then they go to Pittsburgh, and then to Virginia before their next home game against Duke on the 17th of October. Last week we talked about the new offensive coordinator Tim Beck and the great first game that he had with 45 points and how quickly this offense wants to work. Hockman back to throw on first down. Out of the pocket, he's going to tuck it across the 30 and steps out of bounds.
Well, you mentioned Tim Beck, Dave. Obviously, been around Urban Meyer throughout his coaching career. So you think about the spread principles. You think about the tempo that they like to operate in, and it certainly was a factor a week ago.
The 463 total yards against Wake. Back to throw, and this one's going to be incomplete. Nowhere near. I guess it was C.J. Riley, the intended receiver, but good pressure there by the defensive end, Reed. Hockman 1 for 4, just 4 yards and an interception. So a choppy start for Bailey Hockman in this one. Third down and 2 for NC State. A handoff for Person. Breaking free. Very tough to take down on that first hit before Diablo tied him up, but that gains 7 and a first down.
Yeah, and this is what they needed to see. Running behind that offensive line to the left side, does a good job, again, pressing the hole, getting up the field vertically. And you said it, because he's a big physical back, just falling forward, and you need to gain 2 for the first down.
6'1", 215 out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, as we approach the 1 minute mark of the first quarter. Hockman handing off again for Person, reversing field, and no blockers in front of him as he is pushed out by Devin Taylor.
Dave, we talked last week about the fact that Bailey Hockman wasn't scheduled to be the starter, with Devin Leary kind of coming into training camp as the starter before he was kind of unable to practice because of contact tracing. There has to be some pressure on Bailey Hockman to continue to play well, to continue to be efficient like he was a week ago, so he can play without looking over his shoulder.
Houston, the back, gets his first carry as he dives ahead. It has to be in the back of his mind, if not in the forefront of his thinking, doesn't it, Tim? You've been in shoes where, there's another guy knocking on the door right behind you.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that's the case. And, especially when Dave Doran talks about the fact that, Devin Leary was not beaten out. It was Hockman's job because he gave him the best chance to win because, the presumed starter when training camp began wasn't able to practice for nearly 3 weeks. And so, Dave Doran had to make the decision based on who he felt was ready enough to play and, learn the game plan and all of that. And so, yeah, I think when you factor that in, you have to think at some point this season we could see Devin Leary.
Nope, they didn't have to run a play. They did not. So we are headed to the second quarter. First quarter has been all Hokies. They're on top, 17-0. We head for the second quarter here in Blacksburg. Welcome back to ACC Network Football, presented by Geico. Tim Hasselbeck, Dave O'Brien, Katie George with you. Katie right there in Blacksburg. Tim and I broadcasting from our homes as Hockman rolls away from the pressure and fires incomplete. Drive here at the 49-yard line. A lot of pressure there from Ashby again, who's off to a quick start.
He's all over the place, and to think that Virginia Tech is doing this without a defensive coordinator, really without a linebackers coach, and guys filling in. Ashby, who's a veteran player, been a very productive player, led the ACC in tackles a year ago, probably out there coaching himself.
They're getting great pressure on Hockman they have all throughout this first half. 4th down and 5, so punting it away. Robinson back to receive. And a fair catch inside the 10. Burmeister out of the gate quickly, Tim.
Yeah, and it's a pretty good start for him. And, got him comfortable with some quarterback runs, but some easy throws as well. A little play action here to Turner coming in behind the linebacker. A receiver coming into his sight of vision, and then the quarterback run. We know that he can do this well. Justin Fuentes told us he was the fastest quarterback in that quarterback room, and he definitely looks comfortable in this offense so far.
Starting this drive up 17-0. Blacksburg with the carry and a giant hole across the 20 and nudged out of bounds by Harris. 15-yard pickup. They're moving it again.
You said a giant hole, and that's exactly what it is. This time the right side of that offensive line. Just look at the double team work up to Isaiah Moore, and then Blacksburg, who's got very good speed, into the second level untouched.
Well, Blacksburg lived with Braxton Burmeister when a quarterback first got to school, so they are very close. He's going to run it again up the middle and stopped by Raheem Ashford. 5-yard gain.
And you just think about how these transfers have played for Virginia Tech so far. It's Blacksburg, it's been Herbert, the transfer from Kansas. Obviously, it's been Burmeister, making an immediate impact in their opening.
On 2nd down, quick toss to the flat. That one complete to Robinson. Well, the SEC returned to play today, Tim. The Big Ten and the Pac-12 will be back soon. The national rankings are going to look a lot different soon enough, and so will all of college football.
It is good to see a full slate of games. There's starting to be a full slate of games on Saturdays, isn't it?
Oklahoma upset today by Kansas State. The carry by Blacksburg, the tackle by Drake Thomas. No gain on that one. So that'll bring up 4th down. It's 4th down and a yard.
I would expect the NC State, Dave, to, the way that Virginia Tech has been running the football on them, to be more aggressive defensively. They like to play a 3-man front on that defensive line, but I think you're going to need to get players involved in the run game.
Bradburn to punt. Thomas will let that one bounce, and the Hokies will nudge that out of bounds. So that one goes for 62 yards and backs up NC State big time. Early second quarter, Virginia Tech up by 17. Let's go to Katie George.
Well, Dave Doran said he and his staff played a guessing game in terms of prep due to Virginia Tech's COVID issues. He said the first quarter would be a feel-out phase where you're just trying to get used to the guys that you're playing against. From there, they'd make adjustments as needed. Tim, regardless of who you're facing on the other side, were you surprised by the slow start from NC State?
I was, Katie. I think, mostly by that defensive front for North Carolina State, regardless if it was Hendon Hooker or Braxton Burmeister or Quincy Patterson for that matter. The fact that, they haven't had an answer to the run game so far for Virginia Tech has been a bit surprising, especially considering they've already played a game.
And ran the ball tremendously well in that victory. 2nd down and 8 coming up for Hockman. And the left-hander steps up. Looking downfield, he's going to throw on the move. And going to be incomplete. Well, there's been a lot of pressure on him, Tim. He's dropped back now 7 or 8 times. He's been hit 4 times.
Yeah, and that's going to be a challenge. A week ago he was kept fairly clean. He was playing on time. This time Ashby gets to him again. And, it's a lot harder to play as a quarterback when you're under pressure, crowd noise or not. And now he finds himself inside his own 10-yard line on a 3rd and long.
And they're just 1 for 5 on 3rd downs, 3rd and 8. And Hockman will tuck it again, and down he goes. He's pretty effective on his feet last week. Stopped by Pollard, a gain of 2. But not a whole lot there.
And that was a designed quarterback run. They motion the back out of the backfield. They kind of fake like they're throwing that swing out to the perimeter. And you almost wonder if, there's a bit of a trust issue in that situation. 3rd and 8, backed up, down 17. Just wanting to get the ball out of your own end.
So Gill to punt from the end zone, a flag down as he launches that one. 11:28 to go here in the second.
Ball start. Offense, number 32. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Now Virginia Tech with a 4-game winning streak against NC State. They haven't met since 2015. Hokies 8-5 last year. They were 5-3 in the ACC and went on to play in the Belk Bowl. About to get the football back as Gill knuckles that one back for Robinson, who will scoop that and dart to his right before he goes down. So another drive forthcoming here. 53-yard punt and a 5-yard return. 11:08 to go in the half. Well, Virginia Tech on top 17-0 over NC State. There was a taunting penalty on Breon Murray of Virginia Tech on the punt. So 15 yards there. 17-0. The Hokies, not much slowing them down tonight. They scored all 17 of those points, Tim, in just 5 minutes.
It's been about the run game. And I would think that NC State has to do something to bring other players into the box. Basically bring other players to the party of that run game if they're going to continue to get so much movement up front with that Virginia Tech offensive line.
So much yardage on those rushes. They're averaging 10.8 yards per carry and going to get a sack here. Isaiah Moore, the man shot out of a cannon to take down Burmeister.
Yeah, and you said shot out of a cannon, basically pressures there, and he does an excellent job of kind of finding the rushing lane, and then you just see the good pursuit. It's not a great job of Brock Hoffman kind of sliding off and getting a hand on Isaiah Moore, and it looked like Burmeister maybe had a dislocated finger the way that his hand looked and the way he was looking over to the sideline.
So the quarterback is the injured player. We're going to take the break and be back with more here in Blacksburg in just a moment. Well, Braxton Burmeister's had a very good night, but he is now out of the game with a right hand injury, Tim.
Yeah, and the way he went down, on his hand, he kind of, looked at it and looked to the sideline, and he's up, still on the sideline. Hope he's okay. But if you're NC State, you better buckle up, because you now have a 240-pound quarterback that likes to run in between the tackles now in the lineup. And Virginia Tech have been running the football even without him in the lineup.
Quincy Patterson, 6'4", 240. And Blackshear trying to make some room, but dragged down by Drake Thomas. He lost a yard on the play.
And going back to the previous play, you see Burmeister put his hand down, and then as he gets up, he immediately kind of, starts shaking his wrist, and you see his hand kind of, in a funny position. It's hard to see, what digit it was, but clearly, he needed a little medical attention at that point.
Yeah, we were wondering about the thumb maybe, but it was tough to get a clean look. Blackshear trying to slice inside, and he'll be stopped by Isaiah Moore, a gain of 1 yard. Patterson has not played competitively since 2018 when he was a backup at Oregon. He's known as a playmaker, a dual running and passing threat. 4th down and 22. So no movement there. And a flag down.
Ball start. Offense number 17. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So that'll really back up the Hokies here. And the punter Bradburn in the end zone. On 4th and 27. He dug that snap out. Somehow got the punt free. Here's Thomas. Thayer Thomas cutting to the outside. to the 50-yard line before he goes out. So good field position here for the Pack. Now Sunday best all day coming up. Wake Forest and Virginia field hockey at noontime, and then Duke and Louisville at 1:30. Women's soccer, this is a heck of a matchup, number 1 against number 7. It always is when it's North Carolina and Duke at 3:30 p.m. on the ACC network. So NC State trying to move it from midfield. Only a couple of first downs on their first 5 drives. And on the carry, here's Van Knight. Straight ahead, 97 yards and a touchdown last week, and he'll gain 12.
Yeah, and you see it's that left side. Look at the movement, just a stretch play, push it, Van Knight get up the field.
Going to go quickly again with Knight. Trying the right side this time. Jenkins with the stop. And they are going to go at warp speed. Second down for Hockman. Van Knight again. Cuts right through the center of the line, and he'll pick up a first down on a fine run and 14 yards.
Dave, you said warp speed. Warp speed, I think, helps them. Again, it's just kind of pushing off the left side of that offensive line. Dylan Parham does a good job of inserting and getting a block, and this really, could get NC State's offense going. Use that tempo. You do have to wonder a little bit with so many players out and missing time what the conditioning will be like for Virginia Tech.
Well, you talk about the other team had better be in shape. The Wolfpack have to be in even superior shape. They've run it 4 consecutive times here. Second down and 8. Hockman will hand off again. This time Person. And Person dragged down. And Jenkins with the tackle, a 6-yard pickup. 3rd and 2 coming up for NC State. Now, last week against Wake, their offense went to work so quickly, racking up 185 yards in the very first quarter. A man down. So an injury for the Hokies. We'll take the break. 7:45 to go here in the second. Well, a drive here for NC State. 3rd down and 2. And on this drive, 5 plays, 37 yards, all on the ground. Hockman's just 1 for 6 throwing it, and he's been picked off, and they're going to run it again. And it's going to be Person up the middle. And jumping on his back, and Diablo eventually with the stop.
Dave, you mentioned the play selection. Well, when you're getting this type of movement, there's probably no need to put the ball in the air.
Knocking on for 1st and goal. He's going to back it in, and a touchdown for Person. Ricky Person, a bright star a week ago, and gets the Pack into the end zone here in the second quarter.
A bright star a week ago, and you see him just pouring it up in there again tonight. That's an excellent job of running through contact as Shamari Connor tries to fill, and basically Ricky Person runs right through him on his way into the end zone.
A 49-yard touchdown drive. They ran 7 times. And into the end zone, and the extra point is good. Well, the Pack in dire need of a touchdown. They get one 17-7.
33 limping off.
And as mentioned, every play was on the ground.
And we know that's their strength. We know that's what they want to do. They have a good offensive line. They've got multiple backs. And so if you're able to just generate some success in the run game and then hit them with tempo, you can see how quickly, even with just running the football, how effective this NC State offense can be. I mean, think about what we saw last week, Dave. I think 7 runs of over 20 yards. It leads to explosive plays as well.
Ricky Person is going to wear you out. He certainly did Wake Forest last week, and starting to find his legs tonight. And it has been a while since the Hokies got into the end zone. Remember, all 17 of those points came in 5 minutes in the first quarter. So the Wolfpack to kick off. Herbert and Holston back to receive. 7:22 to go before halftime here in Blacksburg. Take a look at our New York Life drive recap.
And we've said it was all about the run game. 7 rushes. It was Bam Knight that got things started. They go back to him, get another chunk play in the run game, and then they got down in tight and they put Ricky Person in to punch it in for the score.
Now for Virginia Tech, 3 consecutive punts after 3 scoring drives. So they've gone cold. Trying to heat up once again. Patterson taking over at quarterback last series, and he will hand off here. Blackshear is going to keep it here to the right. And held on to the football. Let's go to Katie George.
Well, guys, as Virginia Tech trainers were looking at Braxton Burmeister's hand, a woman walked down the stairs of the stands, who I believe to be his mother, and asked him what was wrong. He walked over and he said, "My hand is cramping to the point that I can't open it, so I cannot catch the snap right now." That was roughly 4 or 5 minutes ago. He's still trying to stretch out that hand as we speak.
So a cramp in that hand. We were thinking maybe a possible dislocation or something like that. 2nd down and 2, and it's Patterson again on the carry.
Yeah, and I've never heard of that. I mean, when you saw his hand, the way that it kind of his fingers looked like, you know, he wasn't able to open his fingers. You know, I've seen quarterbacks often, you know, have a dislocated finger, thumb, whatever it may be. Never heard of a quarterback's hand cramping to the point that he wasn't able to open it to catch the football or throw it.
1st down and 10. And Herbert in the backfield with Patterson. 6:15 to go in the half. And with a new quarterback, here's Herbert on the handoff, trying that left side. Stopped by Drake Thomas. 6-yard pickup. Let's go back to it.
He's just trying to escape outside the pocket. He's holding the ball in his right hand, and he gets up, and you see his hand right there. It's obviously you know, it's almost looked like it's clenched.
It's got to be a scary feeling for a quarterback, for anybody, but.
And you almost wonder if he, you know, hit something else on his arm that created, you know, caused it to cramp. But you know, that's a big change, because I think this. I think that Quincy Patterson is not the passer that Braxton Burmeister is. You know, he also doesn't have the speed, and so, you know, Patterson is a bigger man. He's a in between the tackles runner, and probably not as accurate of a passer. And you almost even wonder too, you know, with Hendon Hooker as the starting quarterback and Braxton Burmeister scheduled to play, well, what kind of work has Quincy Patterson received with these starting wide receivers?
Hooker, by the way, cleared to return to the sidelines, but not to play. So he is able to be with his teammates tonight. He was named the starting quarterback last season.
5 minutes and 25 seconds due to a player's helmet coming off. Please reset the clock. 5:25.
So back to 5:25. Hooker won the first 6 games of his career. Guy who also takes very good care of the football, but unable to help tonight because of COVID tracing. That has really hit Virginia Tech especially hard, including the coaching staff. The defensive coordinator can't work tonight. Patterson's going to loft it up there, trying that sideline, and a completed pass to Mitchell. Somehow able to haul that in despite the coverage. It goes for 33 yards.
Yeah, and it's a nice job of Mitchell coming back through contact to the football. They just basically run. You see Mitchell in the slot. He's going to run an inside fade route. Leaves them all types of room. And it's a good job of Patterson of just putting it out there and letting his big tight end run underneath it.
Trying to get that edge, and he'll be taken down around the 20.
This is what I mean about coming back through contact. Just slightly underthrown, but you see him fight back through contact. You probably could have made the argument that Baker Williams interferes with him because he's there before the ball is there, but you know, the big 242-pound tight end, strong enough to fight through contact and still make the catch.
Patterson with his first pass attempt, and it goes for 33. 2nd down and 6 for the Hokies. And driving late in the second quarter, the handoff for Blackshear, finding some room to operate. And a flag on the play, stopped by Drake Thomas. A gain of 8 for the flag down.
76 offense, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And that's on the center, Hoffman. So Virginia Tech with a 17-7 advantage. Got them all in the first quarter. They have not done a whole lot since then except lose their starting quarterback, Braxton Burmeister, to a cramp in the hand. Talk about unusual. 2nd down and 6 coming up. So Patterson trying to put together a lengthy drive here. And another whistle.
Timeout. North Carolina State.
NC State will take the timeout.
Timeout will be 30 seconds.
With just under 4 minutes to go. We were talking about Hendon Hooker, the North Carolina native who made 8 starts last season. They went 6-2 while he was under center and had a top 3 ACC quarterback rating. And responsible for 13 touchdowns. Only 2 interceptions, Tim. So we talk about him taking care of the football. That's true.
You know, and I was preparing for this game, watching Hendon Hooker, expecting him to be, the starting quarterback before we found out that he wasn't going to be available. And was really impressed with his versatility. He obviously was a good runner. He was efficient in the passing game. And, I think it's important, obviously one of the most important things you can do is take care of the football. And so, it was interesting to hear Justin Fuente say the offense wasn't going to change much with Burmeister as the starting quarterback, but I have to think it does now with Patterson because Patterson is a different player than both Hooker and Burmeister, just different strengths to his game. So I would think it would start to look a little bit different with Patterson in there.
Patterson did come on last season in that wild game against North Carolina, the one that went 6 overtimes. Handoff here to Turner, to something they like to do on occasion. They like to run a wide receiver out there. Jones with the tackle. It gains only 2 yards. Now, Turner last year had a 57-yard run against Wake Forest. 3rd down and 11.
And he's an exciting player for them. You mentioned 3rd and 11 here, and Turner, interesting situation for Patterson in these known passing situations, but Turner would be the guy, and maybe even on a wide receiver screen.
A key moment for Patterson, back to throw. Looking over the middle and darts that one, a bobble there, and a completed pass. And a heck of an effort there by Caleb Smith. Let's see. Gain of 11. And picking up 1st down in the red zone.
And you see Turner draws the underneath coverage and ball's thrown behind Smith, and that's moving around. It gets some of the ground here.
I thought he made a terrific play, Tim, to haul this in. Watch this thing come up. This, of course, after he hits the ground.
I tell you what, that's a hard catch. When you're running a slant and the ball is thrown behind you that far, this angle will be a great angle to look at. It seems to secure it immediately. And then as he hits the ground here, that doesn't look, that ball moves, it comes loose, but it does not look like that ball hit the ground. At least from my angle, Dave. I don't know about yours.
I would agree. I thought it was one heck of a play. They needed 11. And if it's complete, they got 11 to pick up the 1st down. But the play is under review. Ruled on the field a completed pass. And, of course, he is saying absolutely. Caleb Smith, who is a former walk-on. And they are taking a look at this.
Yeah,
I thought when he hit the ground, spun around, and it came up, that was one whale of a play to hang on to the football.
Yeah, and I think what we were looking for is, did that ball hit the ground because he had to regrip it?
Review, The ruling on the field stands. First down.
I believe going back to last season, you're about 25 for 25. You've not missed one yet.
I think you're right about that, and I'm 2 for 2 off of the in-home monitor, which, is quite a feat.
Yes, it is. So 3 minutes before halftime, and the drive alive here for Virginia Tech as they pick up the first down and into the red zone on the 15-yard line. Turner in motion. Patterson to throw again for the end zone, and it's caught in a touchdown. Robinson with the reception, beating Dunlap in the end zone, 15 yards and a touchdown.
This is a great play by Robinson.
Get on the scoreboard for the first time since the first quarter.
It's just a one-on-one ball, hard play action. Just who can go up and make a play on the football, the moment of truth. And the 5'10", 187-pound Robinson does a good job there. A little bit of contact as the ball is arriving, but he does a good job of not extending his arm too much and then goes and fights for the ball.
The whistle's on the extra point and a flag down, but it goes.
Offense number 93.
For a false start.
We'll continue with the try.
So 10 plays, 75 yards, and it took a little over 4.5 minutes. And another score here for Virginia Tech. They lead it 23-7. And we'll try the extra point again after the penalty. 2:48 left in the half. Brian Johnson, who hit a 47-yard field goal to get it going for the Hokies in the first quarter. And so that will make it 24-7.
And you see the hard play action here, and you have one-on-one down the field. And the ball's left a little bit inside, but it's a good job of Robinson basically saying, look, I ran my route, but the ball's left inside. Doesn't matter what the route is. Go find the football. And Malik Dunlap had his back turned, isn't able to locate the football. And even though he's got a significant size advantage on Robinson, Dunlap 6'4", Robinson 5'10". Robinson's able to go up and get the ball.
We expected more of a running attack when Patterson came on, but it was a couple of really impressive passes that were the key to that drive.
No question about it. I mean, Patterson he's more of a runner. I mean, that's his game. At 6'4", 240 pounds, he's a load to take down, but a couple of hard play actions, get some one-on-one opportunities down the field, and a good throw to the tight end James Mitchell, and then a nice job of giving your wide receiver a chance to make a play on the ball, and Robinson does just that.
So the Pack have to be very careful here on the road tonight. They'll start this drive at the 25-yard line and trailing 24-7 to the number 20 team in the country. And Quincy Patterson coming on as the quarterback. He was one of the 3 quarterbacks who played in that crazy game they played against North Carolina we mentioned last year. 6 overtimes, 3 different Virginia Tech quarterbacks threw a touchdown pass in the Hokies' thrilling win, 43-41. It was really the game of the year in the conference.
That was a great game. He also was effective in that game against Notre Dame in South Bend, where they certainly did a lot of good things in the run game. Patterson was a big part of that.
Yep, he started that game. So the Wolfpack trying to answer on the run. It's Houston as he'll dive ahead. Very athletic running back, Jordan Houston, 5'10", about 190, the sophomore. He picks up 9. He'll take it again. Outside, but nothing doing there. Great coverage there by number 22, Jamari Connor. Drops him from a 1-yard loss.
And Jamari Connor is a really versatile player, kind of plays everywhere in the secondary. And this is an outstanding job in the open field against a really shifty, speedy back in Houston. North Carolina State was unbalanced and really had good angles, but a great play by Connor.
On 3rd down, he's going to throw it as an open receiver and incomplete. Had an opportunity for a good strike there, but incomplete.
Yeah, and this is one that Bailey Hockman, has got to make an easier throw. Pavilion gets on top. It's a play you like to see your receiver make, but he, essentially throws him out of bounds as you see him, kind of have to fade to the sideline. If that's a better ball, you keep the receiver up and he's probably scoring a touchdown.
Well, NC State with their 4th drive without a first down. So you really do have to wonder about Leary in the second half, whether or not they'll go to Devin Leary to try and move the football. NC State has to punt again. And a fair catch at the 21-yard line. So an opportunity for the Hokies to get back in the scoring column, leading at 24-7.
Dave, just to piggyback on the situation with the quarterbacks, I would be shocked with one completion so far for Hockman if we didn't see another quarterback in the second half.
Back the 5-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the run. First down.
So false start there. Minute 48 to go here in Blacksburg tonight, which Tim will tell you is one of the very toughest places to play in all of college football. And when it is packed, 66,000 here at Lane, it is absolutely deafening. So Herbert will be in the backfield with Patterson, who's come on and impressed as the backup tonight at quarterback. He's going to hand off again for Turner. Turner darting to the left side, still on his feet. He breaks free. Down the side. Here he comes. And he'll be taken down. Tackled by Power, but after a gigantic gain.
It's just an incredible run by Turner. They're basically going to run him on the jet sweep. They really don't get the perimeter. Look at Isaiah Moore, forces him back inside. And then look at the power of Turner as he breaks some tackle, and then the speed when he gets to the open field. Dave, you called it earlier. They like to hand him the football on plays like that. You can see why.
51 yards for Trey Turner. They have broken some huge ones. Here's Patterson again, looking for an edge outside, and very tough to take down, Tim. You were talking about just what a powerful runner he is. Dawkins with the tackle, but he gains 8.
Yeah, you see the challenge that you have of him. You maybe have a hat for a hat, but a good job of a lead block, and then enough shiftiness, but just so strong. It's probably like trying to tackle Cam Newton. I mean, just a big, powerful runner.
I'm out. North Carolina State, second charge timeout, 30-second timeout.
Wolfpack take their second timeout, 47 seconds before halftime, and Virginia Tech into the red zone again. They have rushed for over 200 yards here in the first half.
It's really incredible what they've been able to do running the football, especially when we talked about, the front and even the linebackers for North Carolina State so good last week. But Quincy Patterson's come in the game and he's been outstanding. He's done an excellent job giving his big tight end James Mitchell an opportunity down the field. And Caleb Smith comes up big for him on 3rd and 11 with an outstanding catch, and give Robinson a chance to go up and fight for the ball. But Quincy Patterson comes in and got an instant offense for Virginia Tech.
Well, he has really infused them with an energy, frankly, they really weren't playing with for a little while, and has really gotten the offense into a high gear, 24-7, and looking for more here. 2nd down and 3. Patterson looking to throw for the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown. It's James Mitchell, the tight end, able to haul that in. And Patterson saying, the heck with the scouting report on me running the football. I'm going to air it out here.
Yeah, and it's the same exact play we saw earlier. It's that inside fade to the big tight end, James Mitchell, and he's just too strong. Bodies up the defender, Baker Williams, as he goes and fights for the ball, and Patterson's 4 for 4. In large part, what's happening, Dave, is NC State is bringing safeties down into the box. They're getting one-on-one coverage. And so when your wide receivers, or in this case tight end, goes and fights for the football when in a one-on-one situation, helps your quarterback out quite a bit.
Patterson 4 for 4, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns throwing the football. So the scoring drive gets them into the end zone again. Look at the scoring so far last season, 30 points per game, 6th in the ACC. Tonight already with 31.
We talk to these coaches who haven't played games, who have had players miss because of contact tracing or other things that have, kind of made training camp and spring practices, been difficult. But it seems like Virginia Tech, the long wait to play an actual football game, they were ready for it.
Right. I mean, we're talking about 18 to 22-year-olds for the most part, right? You can never really predict how they're going to react. As rough as it has been on the Hokies, they look like they're having the time of their lives. They're up 31-7. Here's Person trying to return one as he is knocked backwards and knocked backwards on his rear end by Connor. So 36 seconds to go before halftime, and the Hokies leading at 31-7. So a huge story is Quincy Patterson, the sophomore quarterback, coming off the bench to relieve Braxton Burmeister, whose right hand cramped up. He couldn't take the snap. And Patterson has come on and played brilliantly.
It's been almost a break for Virginia Tech because of the way Patterson has played.
1st and 10, and a pass complete over the middle and caught by Carter to pick up the first down, and they're going to want to go very quickly here. Bailey Hawkman trying to get another score. That went 19 yards. 1st and 10. Plenty of time. Gets it off. And another completed pass. Rooks with the reception. Got that one off for 22.
Timeout. North Carolina State. 3rd. Final charge timeout. The timeout will be 30 seconds.
So NC State will take their final timeout of the first half. ACC football coming up at noon next Saturday. It'll be NC State against number 21 Pitt. Then at 4 o'clock, these Hokies against the Duke Blue Devils. And then Virginia and number 1 Clemson. That's at 8 p.m. Our prime time game next Saturday on the ACC Network.
Impressive game by Pitt. Yeah, impressive game by Pitt today. And you and I, Dave, I think you're about to say, excited to see the number 1 team in the land next weekend.
Looking forward to that. Getting back to Clemson, we had several a season ago watching the number 1 team in the country next Saturday. 1st down and 10, just 20 seconds left before halftime. Hawkman will air this one out to Person before he's tied up and dropped. Just seconds to go. 31-7, Virginia Tech. That gains 4 yards.
The decision there, I mean, that was basically a design pass to throw the swing screen. And just the danger of getting tackled in bounds. Obviously, you see what happens here, and they're kind of forced to take a really, attempted a really long field goal by throwing the ball in bounds.
Would be 53 yards. Here for Christopher Dunn. And a timeout, Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, first charge timeout. Timeout will be 30 seconds.
Dunn, one of the very best in the country. He has made all of his last 12. NC State looking to get on the scoreboard again right before halftime. Again, this will be from 53 yards.
This is a big kick here, Dave. You think North Carolina State gets the ball to start the second half with maybe a little bit of, good momentum going in at halftime would certainly help with how this first half has gone for North Carolina State.
Now the Hokies, with all of their problems with COVID-19, overcoming those in a huge way in the first half. 53-yard attempt now for Christopher Dunn, the junior kicker for the Wolfpack. And the kick is up, and the kick is good from 53. So Dunn sticks it. That'll make it 31-10. And we are at halftime here in Blacksburg, Virginia. There is a penalty on the play. So flag down.
After the play, sportsmanlike conduct under 79 offense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the second half kickoff. It's number 79's first and sportsmanlike conduct foul. That's the end of the first half.
Nicky Eguano with that penalty, but Virginia Tech 201 rushing yards in the first half. They got it rolling. In the air, too. We'll be sending it to Jordan Cornett, Eric McLean, and E.J. Manuel in just a moment.
Welcome into the Halftime Report. I'm your host, Jordan Cornett, joined by a couple of the fellas, Eric McLean, E.J. Manuel, and Virginia Tech. They don't believe in excuses. They don't have time for any of that stuff. And here's the highlight to prove it from the first half. Let's look at Hendon Hooker, one of 23 players that would be unavailable for the Hokies. But next man up, Khalil Herbert, right here, 37 yards. They're not going to get him. Virginia Tech leads 10-0. 3 plays later, NC State with the ball. And look, NC State offensively could not get much going at all in the first stanza. Here picked off by Divine Diablo. Take a look. Lay it out. How about that play? First and goal for the Hokies, driving after the turnover. Raheem Blackshear, 8 yards. Tutty. Here comes the cannon. Oh, wait. Oh, no, false alarm. Didn't fire. But Virginia Tech was 17-0. But
misfire.
Yeah, NC State finding a way. Ricky Person Jr. there. They're finally on the board, those Wolfpack. But I'm telling you, really, next man up, Burmeister gets the start at quarterback. He goes down with the cramp in his hand. Quincy Patterson, the third-string quarterback. My man is dealing right now. 4 of 4, 2 touchdowns. That's one of them. Virginia Tech leads this one 31-10 at the half.
Justin, your team has waited a very, very long time to play in its first game. What did you think of the fast start from both sides?
Well, I was pleased with the way we started the game. It was kind of that initial rush of adrenaline, and then we kind of relaxed a little bit. But we've battled through that part. Like, you worry about your team being in game shape with all the stuff we've been through. So we got to go get off our feet and get hydrated. We lost a couple guys to cramps and get ready for the second half.
Quincy Patterson, he steps in for Burmeister because of a hand cramp. What impressed you most about his second quarter performance there?
Well, he's just always ready. That's part of the whole team, the charge that we have, both with what we're dealing with in terms of the pandemic and then just in football in general. So, he never bats an eye. Whenever his number's called, he jumps in there and goes and competes.
Thanks for the time.
You bet.
Are you kidding me? 23 players unavailable. Hendon Hooker, your starting quarterback's one of them.
Crazy.
Your defensive coordinator is one of 2 coaches that's out. Nobody is really thinking the Hokies going to do much here. 31-10 at the half. Emac, how surprised are you?
Man, I'm shocked. Defense flying around, playing lights out. The running game has been tremendous. They have over 200 yards in one half of football. That offensive line playing their tails off, just ripping holes open for any and everybody to run through. But, hey, EJ, I tell you what, how about a running quarterback going 4 for 4 with 2 dimes? I mean, how impressive is that?
Extremely impressive, and not just the dimes, but you would have thought he'd been playing the entire game. To be thrown in when Burmeister goes down with the hand cramp, but just to come in and just keep rolling, keep the offense moving like they've been moving. It's not like that's a easy throw. I mean, you put up a fade ball like that, and they come down with a touchdown. that's impressive. And then that back shoulder fade in the bottom end zone. So he's playing great. He played great when he had opportunities last year too. So I'm not too surprised by what we're seeing from Q Patterson.
Wolfpack got to get this thing right, turn it around in the second half, showed some life as we showed you that Ricky Person Jr. touchdown. Do they have more to get going? Only 46 yards in the air from that offense as they look to generate something. One thing for certain, the Hokies, they came to play. Khalil Herbert breaks that one for the touchdown. They lead it 31-10 at the half. More huddle after the break. As for this one right now with Virginia Tech rolling, it has been a dominant performance thus far with the team, with a depleted roster missing 23 players. In the air, 135 passing yards, but it's the Wolfpack struggling mightily there, only 50 yards. The Hokies also averaging a whopping nearly 10 yards per play. EJ, what do you want to see here in the second half?
Well, here's my thing. Yeah, I was actually going to phrase a question. Why is Bailey Hockman, why we're not seeing what we saw last week? That's what's so frustrating about some of the football in this conference, man. You just see these guys go out and play great 1 week and look like they're going to be the guy and really turn the corner in a positive way. But you come out tonight and you play flat. You're not really able to get anything going. And sure, Virginia Tech's a top 25 football team, but I just was expecting more from the offense, and we're just not seeing it right now.
Yeah, and he's going against some bad boys on that defense. I think that's one of the reasons. But, hey, I look for Virginia Tech to keep piling it on in the second half.
One thing's for certain, Coach Fuente has that team ready to play. Admirable first start for them as James Mitchell makes a play right there. Virginia Tech leads this one 31-10. Back for more second half action on the other side.
Welcome back to ACC Network Football, presented by Geico. And tonight from Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, it's 31-10 as we get set for the second half. The Hokies with all sorts of issues with COVID-19 and lost their starting quarterback. But boy, Tim, does it pay to have depth at quarterback. And Quincy Patterson came on and delivered, but they've got a running game too.
I was going to say depth at quarterback and that run game. Herbert gets them going with great blocking up front, and as you mentioned, Braxton Burmeister goes down, cramp in his hand, which leads to Quincy Patterson entering the lineup, and that was a good thing for this Virginia Tech offense because he gives his wide receiver Robinson a chance to go up and play the football and does the same thing to James Mitchell, the big tight end, at the end of the second quarter. But an excellent job of stepping in by Quincy Patterson.
We take a look at our Zaxby's first half statistics. 336 yards of total offense for the Hokies. 200 of those on the ground. But it was the passing arm of Quincy Patterson that really got us marveling because he was supposed to be a run guy. He has turned out to be a pass guy too, and a clutch guy, as he has done it now a couple of years in a row, come off the bench and really help. Let's toss it down to Katie George.
Well, Dave Doran said everything I did not want to see in a first half happened there. Missed assignments on defense, missed tackles. We didn't protect the quarterback. I asked him if we could see Devin Leary. He said anything's possible, but he did say this is not Bailey's fault. We have to coach better. We have to play better. We're not sustaining anything at this point. We know they're conservative. They're going to continue to run the football. We have to find a way to stop them, guys.
Now, Billy Hockman's been under a lot of pressure, Tim. Pressured often in that first half. We shall see how the second half goes for the junior quarterback. He is back to throw on 1st and 10. First play of the second half, and throwing down the middle. That's going to be broken up. And Chapman able to break it up, intended for Devin Carter.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see North Carolina State take a shot to start the second half. I would have expected them to continue to try to get the run game going. You got a quarterback that's now 4 for 11. Maybe find a way for some easy completions for him.
2nd and 10, throwing short this time. A little slant here and complete. On a second down to Imezi, and again, they're going to try and go and go and go as quickly as they can. They'll pick up 10.
And you think conditioning would be a factor for both teams, but with the situation, this being Virginia Tech's first game, I think going tempo makes a lot of sense for NC State.
Handoff for Ricky Person, trying to weave back to the right before he is stopped by Tisdale. And we'll see if Ricky Person takes over this game the way he did for long stretches last Saturday against Wake when he rushed for 97 and a touchdown. He also tossed a touchdown pass and returned a kickoff. He did about everything you can. On the play action, a completed pass to Carter for the first down. That'll gain 17.
It's a nice job here, just hard play action. You mentioned Person. I think everyone's thinking, hey, you know, a lot of Person, get this offense going. Pull it out of his belly, able to hit Carter on the in-cut behind.
So the Wolfpack on the march across the 50-yard line, and a flag down on 1st and 10.
Ball starts. Offense, number 50, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So brings up 1st and 15 for the Pack. Try and battle back for their second victory in as many weeks. This is the opener for number 20 Virginia Tech. After multiple cancellations and the schedule being redone, finally getting on the gridiron and on the keep. Here's Hockman. He'll trot out of play. Got another flag now. Gain of 6.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So a couple of flags here in the opening moments of the second half in Blacksburg, with 13-11 to go here in the third quarter. Backs him up to a 1st and 20. Bam Knight in the backfield will take the handoff. Nice big hole. Wanted to cut back inside, but he's denied, as he got 5 of them back.
You know, you get into these 1st and 20 situations behind the chains. You want to go fast, and that's great. You know, you just get behind the chains. Just makes it so much harder for your offense to operate with tempo as you see Virginia Tech flying around.
Hockman came out throwing the football. 2nd and 15 for the Wolfpack. And from the shotgun. A little bit of pressure, moving away from that. Throws it short and caught by Knight. That play kind of broke down. The stop by Diablo had a big interception in the first half. Had a tremendous athletic play on it too, diving, laying out to Pickett.
Yeah, Dave, you said that play kind of broke down. I think Hockman was fooled by the rotation in the secondary, which, you know, forced him to leave the pocket and look to create, which is why he ended up just dumping the football off.
3rd and 9 now. Hockman looking to throw again. Looking into the flat, and it's intercepted. Picked off once again. That's Diablo. Actually, it's Murray. Murray with the pick. And another interception of Bailey Hockman. And a 50-yard return.
Yeah, and Bailey Hockman can't do this. He kind of holds on to the football. It's fading away. Definition of throwing late outside, falling off your back foot, leaving the ball inside. And Murray, that's an easy interception there. You see the quarterback staring it down late. Give you an opportunity to drive on the football. Critical mistake.
So Virginia Tech once again doing it with defense. And it's Leary starting to warm up. Devin Leary. Going back to last season, they talked about him as the quarterback of the future for the Pack. And it's Patterson right into a pile. So 2nd down coming up. He'll get 4 yards on the game. Trying to make some more points out of the turnover.
Those types of plays there, I know it didn't amount to much for Virginia Tech, but that's what I feel like Quincy Patterson does best. The fake to Turner, try to stretch the defense, and then run right at him with Patterson.
On second down, Patterson. He's been so effective throwing it, going to the end zone again, but this is going to be overthrown and incomplete. Intended for Trey Turner. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 6 here for the Hokies. Quincy Patterson, a sophomore from Chicago, trying to get him into the end zone again. And flags down again.
Ball starts. Offense number 21. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That changes everything for Virginia Tech offensively. 3rd and 6, with the way they run the football and with the way the quarterback can be a runner, I think anything's on the table. You get into 3rd and 11, now it's a known passing situation unless you're just settling for the field goal.
And backed up to the 12-yard line on 3rd and 11. He's going to step up and throw short, and it's broken up. Intended for the tight end Mitchell, but Tyler Baker-Williams, the man to interrupt the play. So this will be a 29-yard field goal attempt by Brian Johnson, who's already stuck one from 47. And from 29, that is up, and that is good. Virginia Tech extends the lead to 34-10 over NC State on a Saturday night in Blacksburg. Well, it's a Sunday best all day long. Wake Forest against Virginia in field hockey at noon. At 1:30, Duke against Louisville. And then at 3:30, women's soccer, number 1, North Carolina to take on number 7, Duke. Now back in Blacksburg, and Virginia Tech lengthens the lead to 34-10. NC State up against it. We talked about Bailey Hawkman struggles tonight, 7 for 15, throwing at 82 yards. He's been picked off 2 times, and Devin Leary warming up there on the sidelines, the quarterback. Last year, they were talking about him as the future of the program. He can do a lot of things. He can run the football. There was a sense of disappointment around the program that he didn't start last week because of a COVID interruption. And he wasn't beaten out by anybody. Right now, staying on that sideline. And Hawkman will hand off here for Person. Trying to move it ahead. Stopped by Belmar. And a 5-yard gain.
And it's surprising to me that we're still looking at Hawkman when you think about his numbers tonight. 7 of 15, 2 interceptions, less than 85 yards passing. And you mentioned, how the coaching staff has talked about Devin Leary in the past. I'll also say if you're Hawkman, you throw an interception that goes down into, your own red zone. And you see your backup quarterback warming up, not exactly a great feeling.
No, I would think not. Not a confidence booster. He's going to fire that one up there and incomplete. Again running for his life, and pressure by Tisdale again, who's had a big night, the linebacker.
And in fairness to Hawkman, we've seen a lot of this. And we've seen a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And you got to stand in there and get hit sometimes, but he's been running around trying to create quite a bit of offense for this NC State group.
3rd and 5, looking to throw again. going to be taken down from behind. The tackle on the play by Reed. Justice Reed for a 6-yard loss. Reed's been sensational.
Reed has been, and this is just great effort to the quarterback. As you see, he's initially blocked. Hockman holds on to the football a little bit, and then as he tries to escape, just good pursuit, not giving up by Justice Reed. They kind of joked about him that, with 2 medical red shirts, that he's a grown man. He's maybe looks like he's 30 with that beard. And
he sure does.
But he's certainly playing like a young guy right now.
Gill to punt again on 4th down and 11. Tavian Robinson will await this one. And that one gets through the hands. It's loose, but it looks like Virginia Tech has come up with it nonetheless, as they fall on it and they have possession. So that punt, 56 yards, 34-10, the Hokies. Let's take a look at our big bowl moments of tonight's game.
And I think you have to look no further than Quincy Patterson comes into the game in his instant offense as he hits Robinson down in the red zone and does the same thing to James Mitchell on a similar play, letting his receivers go up and get the football.
We've been talking a lot about Devin Leary coming on, and how about Braxton Burmeister, the starter tonight for Virginia Tech. He's going back in there. Patterson, 4 out of 6, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. What a lift. And what a guy to have come off your bench. He was outstanding. Herbert in the backfield along with Burmeister, whose hand is apparently healed, and he's breaking away down that left side. Got a block, and out he goes for a big gain.
Yeah, and I think if your hand is bothered, one of the best things you can do is hand it off to Herbert, because he just picks up where he left off in the first half. Just an excellent job of blocking up front, and then the speed of the power back for this Hokie offense.
24-yard pickup there, 1st and 10. And the Hokies driving it again. In their season opener, they have not looked rusty for a minute. The handoff, and instead he's going to keep it. Quarterback to the left and steps out. That's something that Burmeister can do as well. Finally taken out by Battle, but a 16-yard gain.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we expected to see with him in the lineup. It's that zone read. You see as the backside squeezes down, it's Joseph squeezing down on the run play. It's Burmeister who just decides to keep the football and that speed on the perimeter.
So into Wolfpack territory. 1st down, under 8 minutes to go in the 3rd. And the Hokies really looking for a put-away blow. Burmeister back to throw, and fires that one too strong and incomplete. Intended for Herbert.
Dave, I typically would be against taking a quarterback out of the game. And Quincy Patterson, who played so well, but in this environment where we've now seen in 2 consecutive weeks 2 presumed starting quarterbacks not in the lineup as starters and their backups playing, I do think it's a good idea to have as many guys ready at the position as you possibly can, because it is a long season and you're never sure who's going to be available.
2nd down and 10 for the Hokies. Burmeister looking to fire up again, this time a long one, and should be a flag there. And indeed there will be on pass interference on Baker Williams on the trip.
Tyler Baker Williams just gets beat. It's that inside fade, which is a tough play against man coverage, and he just grabs, and then they get their feet tangled, but that initial contact is clearly PI. Probably saves a touchdown, though.
Absolutely. So 7:37 to go here in the 3rd. And with the penalty, the Hokies deep into NC State territory. Burmeister. And a handoff trying that left side. It's Terrell Dawkins. stop, and that'll lose a yard.
You see Braxton Burmeister tonight. I mean, really, has been effective throwing the football, in terms of finding completions. He's done a good job of operating this offense. That's what I mean. Under normal circumstances, you see that, and then you know what Patterson has done. Yeah, I think I would have normally left Patterson in the game.
2nd and 11. Burmeister to run it. Takes a hit. And down he goes on a 25 as he gets stuck by Isaiah Moore, but he picks up 5 yards.
He does, and he had a corner blitz coming from his left, and the safety rotate over the top, and I think it kind of, caught Burmeister off guard a little bit, which made him tuck it and run so quickly.
3rd down and 6 coming up for the Hokies. And the clock continues to run here. And a whistle. And a timeout. So Virginia Tech will take a timeout. And we will take the break as well. All Hokies so far tonight on top 34-10 over NC State. Well, the Virginia Tech quarterbacks, Burmeister and Patterson, have combined to go 10 for 14 thrown at 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. They've also rushed 13 times for 68 yards. So they have been a huge part of the success story tonight for the Hokies, who lead at 34-10. Burmeister returning after a hand problem, cramping in his right hand. He's going to roll and now run for his life. And he's going to be taken down by Tyler Baker-Williams.
They were trying to throw a throwback to the tight end Williams, see fake kind of quarterback sweep to the right, but Baker-Williams just ends up getting penetration, and because they end up with a sack there, it's going to make this a really pretty long field goal.
It's going to be 49 yards here. And that kick is up. And that kick is good. Johnson, another long one. He's hit him from 47 and 49 here tonight. He's been absolute money.
I said to you, when I think about Virginia Tech, maybe it's my playing career, but I think tough defense and I think amazing special teams, and I've certainly seen some of that tonight with the way Johnson has kicked the ball.
Well, they always seem to excel on special teams. And that opens up the lead to 37-10, and 4 consecutive scoring drives for the Hokies.
You see Tim Beck talking to Devin Leary as Devin Leary gets ready to come out, and I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see Devin Leary to start the second half. And I know that Dave Dorn said that it wasn't all Bailey Hockman, and it most certainly wasn't in terms of things that went wrong offensively in the first half, but it seemed like they needed to get something going, and with a week of practice under his belt, I would think that Devin Leary should be ready to go.
So we shall see how this works out. Leary was going to be the guy if not for COVID-19 issues last week. Some were surprised he did not start the game, and indeed ended up playing the game, and here he is finally getting in with 5:22 to play in the third quarter in week number 2. So Leary, the 6'1" sophomore from New Jersey. They believe he is going to be a standout. Here's Knight talking about standouts. He'll take a pop out of bounds. He goes, but Bam Knight Stopped eventually by Connor, picks up 13.
When you mentioned Leary, they do think he's going to be a standout. He, definitely has the strongest arm of the group. I think they see a lot of potential in him, a lot of leadership capabilities, and a lot of physical abilities, out of him. And so I think it's one of the reasons he was the presumed starter coming into training camp.
It'll be Knight again. A hole opens up. He'll slice back inside for a nice gain. Let's go down to Katie.
Well, as soon as Bailey Hockman was sacked in that last series, guys, Tim Beck turned to Devin Leary, told him to warm up, you are in next. And rather than continuing the conversation with Leary, he walked down the sideline, took a seat with Hockman, and had a lengthy conversation. I'll wait for this play, Dave.
Pass play incomplete as he fires wide. Leary incomplete.
He had a lengthy conversation with Hockman and explained the situation, and as a guy that's described as a player's coach, you have to respect the way that he's handled this QB change over here on the sidelines.
Well, both of you guys, having been athletes, for long stretches of your lives, I got to believe you find that the right way to do it, right?
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it. You talk to both guys, and look, we've talked to, about playing more than one quarterback. Might not be the last time we see Hockman, as a starter or playing for NC State.
Leary's finding the same difficulties that his predecessors did as Kendricks goes and gets him. And that'll lose 9 yards.
Yeah, and I think that, it's a challenge in these situations, Dave, to come in off the bench when you haven't been doing a great job protecting. It's kind of like, throwing another player to the wolves, if you will, for a defense.
Wolfpack has been sacked 4 times tonight. 3rd down, 19. He's going to throw it and complete the pass as he gets it to Angeline. Stopped by Chapman. Got it out to his tight end, a transfer from USC. And about 3.5 minutes to go in the third, and the Hokies with a big 37-10 lead. Hokies have not had an opener this late in 70 years, since September 30, 1950, when they played Quantico. And so far tonight, they've really enjoyed it, despite the circumstances. 4th down and 8, he's going to throw it anyway. That's going to be complete as he darts the pass to Carter. Carter's still up before he is dragged down just shy of the 10.
And this is what the NC State coaches like about Devin Leary. You see Carter's just going to basically run an in. And that ball is right in between the 8 and the 8 as soon as he turns around. Kind of a deep curl, and the ball shows up quickly.
He's going to roll and fire, and that one complete. Imezi with the completion. And 2:40 to go in the quarter. 2nd down and 4, and moving the chains. Devin Leary taking over at quarterback. From the shotgun. Throws for the end zone. And touchdown. Caught by C.J. Riley. And it did not take Devin Leary too long to get in.
It sure didn't. This is an excellent throw. Back shoulder fade. It's hard to defend as the corner wants to play over the top. See, high and away is where you want to throw that football, which is exactly where Leary did. And the 6'4" C.J. Riley does a nice job of adjusting to the ball. It's a big 4th and 8 conversion, Dave, to, on a nice throw to Carter, which gives that offense a little bit of life.
Done for the extra point. And that'll make it 37-17. Leary 4 for 5, 60 yards and a touchdown.
And NC State fighting back with Devin Leary. Good ball placement. You see, the trouble that Devin Taylor is going to have playing that ball that's thrown perfectly high and away behind, so C.J. Riley can get his hands on it.
So the scoring drive goes 8 plays, 75 yards, a little over 3 minutes. Impressive. A sophomore quarterback. And it gets him into the end zone to cut it to 37-17. Kind of been waiting for him so long. And when he gets in, he does, well, what the coaches said he was going to do.
I agree. I think it's the first time we talked to Dave Doran, and he basically raved about the arm talent, the ability as a thrower. And it's pretty evident when you see the ball come out of Devin Leary's hands, you know, why coaches would be excited about that.
So Trenton Gill to kick off. Jalen Holston on a low line drive kick, and he'll scoop it up, tiptoeing that sideline. And down at the 25. So 25-yard return for Herbert. And just a little over 2 minutes to go here in the third, 37-17, and the Hokies to take over. And he did bring Braxton Burmeister back out to play quarterback after he had missed some time because of a hand injury, cramping in his hand, which Tim's played so much quarterback in his lifetime, had not heard of that before or seen that before.
Never heard of it or seen it. It's kind of interesting. You almost wonder if, you know, when he hit the ground, if something triggered that. But it was good to see him healthy and back in the lineup.
Takes the snap. He's going to run it. Following his blockers, nice spin move there before he's taken down by McNeil. A very exciting runner too, 13 yards.
I was going to say, you see the suddenness of how he runs. You're right, it is exciting to see him. There's a little bit of shake to him. There's, you know, kind of an aggressiveness to him. You know, he's not a huge guy, so the hit at the end there would be concerning, but that's how he plays. Yeah, I went back and watched him a little bit in high school. That's how he played, and saw some of it at Oregon as well.
1st and 10 for the Hokies. Holston there at the running back alongside Braxton Burmeister. He tries the center of the line, breaks free. Pretty nifty run there, stopped by Baker Williams. But Holston getting into the action and picking up a first.
Holston's getting into the action, and you just see the movement. I mean, guys getting covered up. Drake Thomas just, you know, basically getting swallowed by that offensive line. And I don't know about you, Dave. I'm still getting used to the number 0 on the uniforms.
A man down. The injured player is Khalid Martin, number 21 for the Wolfpack. Free safety. The freshman out of North Carolina. So he is down with 1:17 to go here in the third. NC State making noises like they're coming back in the game, but the Hokies are up by 20. So out attending to a 6-foot free safety, Khalid Martin. And we'll see if he can continue on his back. Hasn't moved very much. And plenty of concerned looks on the faces of the Wolfpack right now. The freshman free safety was number 21 out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina. Khalid Martin has not moved at all since he went down on that play moments ago. And obviously the medical crew is out attending to him, and they have the stretcher out too. Here's a look at the play. Where's number 21? You can see him coming in. And the contact, and then going backward into what would eventually be the position that he has not moved from, unfortunately.
You know, so many of these plays, I mean, look like routine plays, collisions that you see quite a bit. And you just really hope, as you see the concern, that he's going to be okay.
We will take a break right here with 1:17 to go. 37-17, Virginia Tech. More in a moment. Well, head coach Dave Doran and his staff gathering around Khalid Martin, who has just been placed on a stretcher. They do have his helmet removed. We understand that with the ambulance there, he is headed to Montgomery Regional Hospital. So they will take Khalid there immediately, the freshman. Free safety who's been injured. And Tim, your heart goes out. You hate to see this in athletics anytime it happens. We're not going to speculate on what the injury may be or anything like that. Not going to jump to conclusions, but this is about the quietest you will ever hear a football stadium. Obviously, there's only about 1,000 people here tonight with the protocols, but boy, you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, even if it was packed, I think it would be quiet because, well, you're right, we're not going to speculate. It's obviously serious when you see the level of precaution that's being taken right now by the medical staff and the fact that there's an ambulance on the field. When that happens as a player, doesn't matter what side you are on, you immediately have concern, for the health of the player that is down. And I certainly feel that way for Khalid Martin because this is, never a fun situation to be in for the player or his family that may be watching.
NC State free safety. And again, a freshman. We will take a break and continue with more coverage here from Blacksburg in just a moment. It's about 5 minutes from the stadium here in Blacksburg from what we are told. I think a pretty obviously shaken Dave Doran watched one of his players go into an ambulance this evening, and both sides with a word of prayer. They were down on their knees and then rose and applauded him. Certainly hope he could hear that. And now these guys have to get back to playing a football game, which has got to be one of the toughest things to do.
It's really tough. No one wants to play after seeing that, and to think that this is all happening as well in a virtually empty stadium has got to make it feel even more eerie.
So last minute of play of the third. Here's Herbert cutting it back. Picks up a block. Squeezing inside again. He's had some masterful runs tonight. Moore with the tackle. He picks up 6 the hard way. So I'm not sure what anyone can say. No one's going to feel much better until you hear a good word about Khalid Martin. This one aired out for the sideline. A little bit of a juggle on that play and incomplete.
You're right, David. You mentioned it. It was one of the hardest things to do as a player on either side. As I said, when something like that happens, where you stop play for so long that you realize the level of concern and the seriousness in terms of how medical staff takes it. That being said, you do have to continue to play a game, and it's one of these things you just kind of look at the guy next to you and know that he's counting on you, and that's what it takes.
Out of the shotgun, Burmeister going up top and heading for the sideline, incomplete. Intended for Robinson, as well covered by Harris. Jakeem Harris in the coverage, 36 seconds to go in the third. Now the Hokies have played such a strong game tonight in their opener, leading at 37-17. On 4th and 4, they'll be punting. So closing in on the fourth quarter here. And they will kill it right there. So going to be a long drive here for NC State. Divine Diablo able to get down there and get a hand on it. And he's had a terrific game too. He had a big interception early.
Been really impressed with him. I enjoyed talking with him this week. He clearly loves to play, loves to be a student of the game, and it was interesting to see him down there on the punt team. Kind of typical for a Virginia Tech defender.
Sure is. 37-yard punt. So Leary back as the quarterback after leading a touchdown drive the last time he was in there. Ricky Person with the carry, stopped by Pollard. That'll gain 6 yards in the final seconds of the third quarter. It has been such a strange and difficult week, particularly for the Hokies. I mean, up until this morning, they weren't 100% sure, or even close to that they were going to be able to play. But as they head for the fourth quarter, in their opener, they lead 37-17 over NC State here on our ACC Network primetime broadcast. Well, that's how we got to where we are right now, 37-17 Virginia Tech. The Hokies very quickly scored 17 points in a little more than 5 minutes in the first quarter to take control of this game. Getting the fourth quarter started, they hand off for Person on the spin. Stopped by Justice Reed. Now freshman safety Khalid Martin was injured in the third quarter in the final moments. For an update, let's get it down to Katie George.
Well, I've been getting some good news, guys. Khalid Martin is conscious, and he has injured his right hip. He should be arriving at Montgomery General Hospital in just a few moments, where they are going to do some further testing on that right hip injury, but he is conscious and awake.
A very, very good news. Thank you very much. On the run out, here's Person trying the sideline before he's pushed into the bench. He picks up 7. And if we get any more updates on Khalid's condition, we'll certainly pass those along to you. And always happy to note there is a hospital 5 minutes away from the stadium.
Yeah, it's great news, and good to get that report, and hopefully we continue to get good news on Khalid Martin.
Out of the shotgun, Leary running for his life a bit. He'll fire that up incomplete to the sideline.
A dangerous throwaway there by Leary as he escapes outside the backside of the pocket there. Typically you want a little less adventure in your throwaways.
We talked an awful lot about COVID-19 and all of the issues, particularly that Virginia Tech had to endure during this week. I mean, there were points during the early part of the week. It looked like there was no way this game was going to be played. Obviously, the Hokies are delighted that it has been and the way they have performed, as that's going to be another incompletion. And Tim, to your estimation, what is the most difficult aspect of living through the COVID age as a college athlete?
I think from our conversation with these players, Dave, the thing that struck me is how contact tracing can affect you. Guys could feel totally fine. They could do everything, wearing a mask, washing their hands, but just being within 6 feet of somebody that tests positive can shut you down for 2 weeks. And we're looking at a quarterback that missed nearly 3 weeks, and he was never ill. And so I think that uncertainty and the anxiety associated with that has to really weigh on these guys.
There will fire, showing off some of that arm strength. And a completed pass to Riley. Let's go back to Katie.
Well, it's also changed the way these guys do things. Normally speaking, after practice, they hang out, they go eat with one another, they play video games, and players say they don't want to hang out with one another because they're so fearful of that contact tracing and they don't want to get out.
Long pass and incomplete by Leary. I mean, I think that's so true, and so much of why you love to go to college has been stolen away from so many athletes.
Yes, being on a team, hanging with your buddies, and solving the world's problems in your dorm room. And I think that if you're afraid to do that, or even kind of being a leader, picking a teammate up, whatever it may be, not having the ability to do that, or feeling like you're doing something wrong when you do that, just is counterintuitive to, I think, what it means to be on a team and be a teammate. And that's hard.
Bam Knight with another carry and stopped by Kendricks. So a 3rd and 3 coming up. for Devin Leary and NC State. Under 13 minutes to go in the contest, and Knight staying on his feet, keeps churning ahead. Divine Diablo will get credit for the tackle, but Knight is so tough to bring down.
Yeah, pretty good run on 3rd and 3. As you see Iquanu pull and do a good job kicking out on Justice Reed. And then it's just the finish of the run by Bam Knight, living up to that nickname. Just running hard and pouring it up in there.
I liked how you said at Boston College, sitting around your dorm rooms and solving all of the world's problems. At BC you did. Maybe not true on every campus. There's another one broken up and nearly intercepted. A pretty good stop there by Murray, who already has 1 pick.
Yeah, and Murray does a good job of driving on this. Just an in cut.
The 55 offense, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
And he basically runs a better route than Lassane, who's coming on that in cut. Nice play by Murray. And you get the holding call on Riley, the left tackle. And sometimes you get your money's worth with your hold, Dave.
Oh yeah.
Not just a handful, but maybe a full-on tackle takedown at that point.
Yeah.
Look, as a quarterback, you appreciate the effort.
Brings up her 1st down and 20. And he'll fire that one complete to Carter. Down at the 50. Gain of 8 for the Wolfpack. And trying to make something happen here in the 4th quarter.
And I'm somewhat surprised we're not seeing NC State go faster, considering that's what they want to do.
Exactly. Very different tempo under Leary, and knocked off his feet is Bam Knight by Holyfield. He'll gain only 1 yard on that carry. The last weekend, time and time again against Wake Forest, they couldn't go fast enough.
I mean, immediately at the line, and it's a great distinction by you to point out with Leary, it's been different. And I think that has to be somewhat connected to the fact that he's missed so much time.
He's in a 3rd and 11. Throws short out into the flat. Person with the grab and knocked out of bounds by Connor. So that will get 7 and bring up a 4th and 4.
Quarterback is a position where you need the reps. You need to, and this is a new offense. Tim Beck is new this year. They had 4 spring practices, and then if you pause training camp for 8 days, you have a quarterback miss 20 straight days of practice. It's hard to have him ready with the signals and route adjustments and everything you may expect your quarterback to know.
Now coming up on 10 minutes to go, they're down 37-17. Got to go for it here on 4th and 4. Pressure, and he's going to be tied up and taken down. Holyfield with another big play and another sack of the quarterback. Well, they had 38 of them, the Hokies did last year. Off to a great start tonight.
Well, Ryan Smith stepping in, a defensive coordinator, decides to heat North Carolina State up on 4th and 4, and it's Holyfield getting to the quarterback.
Well, the Hokies have put up 37, but their defense, this is usually the case, has been splendid as well with 6 sacks. Just picked up another one and 2 interceptions to lead the way. Back to throw and dumping that one off, a short one to Herbert, and he is off to the races across the 30. He dives for the end zone. And another big play by Herbert. Jakeem Harris able to nudge him out before he got to the end zone.
Well, he already has 100 yards rushing. Now they hit him on the slow screen. You see kind of a cross screen. He comes from the right side. It's well disguised. It's well, develops great. And then a good job of Herbert just using his speed. And Dave, I have to say, I've been really impressed with the speed of Herbert. Knew he had a lot of power, but you know, for a 212-pound, it looks about 215, maybe more back. He's really running with a lot of speed.
Up back in, it's going to be Foster. Drake Thomas with the stop there on Quincy Patterson.
And you just see what a load Patterson can be down inside the 10-yard line. Cecil Powell kind of learned the hard way. Let's all remember that this is a quarterback. And look at number 4, Powell. I mean, no thank you.
Thank you is right. 2nd and goal here. And he will drive ahead right into the pile and right there to the goal line. And he is in for a touchdown. Quincy Patterson.
Patterson's going to get credit for the touchdown, but look at 74, Nestor, the right guard. Watch him pull around and look at the block that he ends up getting. Stay square. And he would get syrup if he played for NC State. Maybe they'll give him some in Blacksburg.
Patterson 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown run as he pulls ahead to make it 43-17. They're going to be going for 2.
It's just weird to see that touchdown run. Let's go for 2. Let's put the other quarterback in.
Burmeister on a run out to the right, throws, and they're going to get it. Caleb Smith with the reception, and they convert for 2.
ACC Network Football is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And in part by Farm Rich. Grab a snack.
Well, there we are in Blacksburg. I chose 25 apparently.
You did?
Tim a little more casual.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Front row seats though. Excited about that.
Well, the Hokies have scored on 8 of 12 drives here tonight in their season opener and have a big 45-17 lead with just under 9 minutes to go here in the 4th. And so the offense has clicked. They did from Jump Street tonight. The defense has been sensational. Quincy Patterson getting in. Braxton Burmeister moments ago with the 2-point conversion, so it's all fallen their way and really started that way since the opening quarter.
Did, and think about this defense. Ryan Smith, who's not yet 30 years old, steps in for Justin Hamilton as the defensive coordinator, replacing the legend Bud Foster. And they've played great tonight on that side of the ball.
And a 2-yard pickup. Leary, of course, taking over, trying to get the offense going again for NC State. It was tough sledding when Bailey Hawkman was in there for the most part, even though he had a terrific game last week, unable to duplicate that tonight here on the road. So Leary, just under 8.5 minutes to go in the contest, back to throw. More pressure on him. He eludes and fires. And a terrific catch made by Thayer Thomas.
It's a great catch by Thayer Thomas. This is a heck of a play by Devin Leary. He's under all types of pressure. Look how he climbs inside the pocket here through contact, and then that's basically on the run, running up the field. That's a really impressive play, and I think it's things like that that have given the coaching staff of North Carolina State some confidence in Devin Leary.
This time nowhere to hide. He can't get free, and down he goes. Once again, they get to the quarterback. It's been happening all night long.
Well, they get to the quarterback. Look at Aquano, the left guard. He whiffs, and because he whiffs, it's basically a free run at the quarterback for Eli Adams.
Their 7th sack tonight. So 2nd and 19 for NC State, trailing 45-17. Going to look downfield and fire, and that one complete. Imezi with the reception. So we'll gain 9 yards on that one. And 3rd down coming up for Devin Leary.
These are valuable moments for Leary, Dave. You know, missing so much time, essentially his training camp right here. Time to get reps in a brand new offense.
Stepping up again. Quick toss out here to Houston. Stopped by Holyfield. And by Murray, who's been pretty much everywhere tonight. They'll gain 7. 4th down and 3.
And again, the tempo is not the same, but at least getting reps in the offense on a 4th and 3. It's getting a free safety blitz from the bottom of your screen here, unless Ryan Smith checks out of it.
Coming up on 6 minutes to play here in Blacksburg. He'll throw again. Got that pass off. He hit the tight end Angeline, who was tied up by Jenkins, but that picks up 6 yards.
Now, that's something interesting we just saw right there. I mean, basically it was a double cadence by North Carolina State. They were getting a weak side will linebacker free safety blitz, and North Carolina State saw it. What was interesting is Ryan Smith, first time calling plays defensively, is able to communicate to his defense to check out of it. It's a pretty good effort and pretty good flow of communication by the Virginia Tech defense.
Houston finding a hole there for a moment on the left side. He is stopped after again a 3.
It's kind of what I'm talking about. A little visual here. Here's the snap. See Holyfield. Yeah, he was the will. Prior to that, the will free safety were coming. They had checked out of it. And it was because Ryan Smith was able to get a call in. Kind of an encouraging sign, in a season where you may be forced to have guys out of their original role.
Time to throw. And another completion. That is to Parham, the fullback, who rolled out a couple of times last week to catch big gainers. They will use him, and that's 13 yards. So Leary spraying it around with a short game. And he has 1st and goal now for NC State. Looking to punch it into the end zone again here with time running down in the 4th quarter. 1st and goal. Houston right up the middle, getting close. Jordan Houston, the 5'10", 190-pound sophomore back.
And you see why North Carolina State coaches, the coaching staff, said the strength of their team is these running backs. As Houston is able to punch that one in. So many backs that can do it, and Houston one of them.
He dives in for the touchdown. So NC State on the board again.
There's Houston. It's actually not particularly well blocked. They get penetration up front, but even though he is a speed back and only about 190 pounds, he's able to kind of get skinny and have enough power.
4:03 remaining here at Lane Stadium. And done on for the extra point. It is good. 45-24. The Hokies with about 4 minutes to play. (45-24) our score with about 4 minutes to play. And some medical attention there for Jordan Houston. Looked like he cut the back of his ear there. Maybe diving into the end zone moments ago. And Miami has a big lead on FSU, 52-10, with about 3 minutes to go in their game. This one at 4:03. So the onside kick to try and recover and get a little bit closer here.
Running on the field, the kick was batted backwards out of bounds by the receiving team. Big team's ball at that spot, first down.
It's a great play by Robinson. As you kind of see him here, the ball goes up. Look at this little, get that thing out of bounds. Back a little bit, but that's all right. Maintain possession, which is what you want to do. And there you go, another special teams play by Virginia Tech, Dave. Surprise.
Plenty of those again tonight. First down and 10. And the official stopping play here with 4:03 to go. And getting together.
Please reset the game clock to 4 minutes and 2 seconds. Ball was touched in bounds during the kick. 1 second off the clock, please.
Appreciate that critical adjustment, Dave. I know
Yes.
you do.
1 second to 4:02. And Patterson back at the quarterback spot. Holston will try the run. ACC football coming up next Saturday. The triple header beginning at noon. NC State against number 21 Pitt. Then number 20 Virginia Tech taking on Duke at 4 o'clock, followed by number 1 Clemson and Virginia. Our ACC net primetime football at 8 p.m. next Saturday. And then Clemson and Miami in a couple of weeks. So some good ones coming.
Some good ones coming, and I think a lot of good quarterback play on display each and every week.
Another one here with Patterson. I was going to make the point earlier that Bud Foster would have loved this guy as a defensive end or a linebacker.
I mean,
picks up 9 here.
Almost anywhere on your defense.
Yes.
Or in your
defense
offense
or
for
offense.
that matter. Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is third string quarterback. We got Bud Foster with a nice seat here tonight, but Patterson, and I think Justin Fuente made a good point. Is he just ready when his number was called? And to think he was the third guy, he certainly was ready tonight. That's not easy, but he delivered.
And for Holston, hits the 20, stayed up before he is pushed out of bounds. He will gain 23 yards with that rush.
I think the other thing that I probably need to point out is this offensive line for Virginia Tech as Holston gets to the perimeter once again. They got some experience on that left side. They played some freshmen a year ago that, I think, could end up being really good players. Nestor, 74, who's in at right tackle right now. He had a heck of a block down at the goal line. It's a pretty good group up front, and they have depth there. And so between these backs and that offensive line, get a chance to run the ball.
Holston trying to cut back inside. As time begins to expire here, 1:46 on a running clock. And a 45-24 lead for the Hokies, who have never trailed in this game against NC State. And they have rushed for over 300 yards now.
And you think, Dave, Justin Fuente talked about, well, if we can just kind of get through this, get to the Duke game, then maybe, we maybe be through the virus, the way that it's kind of hit our offense, hit our defense, hit our coaching staff, get to the other side of it, and might feel pretty good about your situation.
Patterson straight ahead. Boy, he does so much damage. At his size, 240 pounds, he gains 8.
And just, you'd hate to be in the hole and meet him there. I mean, good night. Boy gets there, but you usually say low man wins. Not when you're trying to tackle Quincy Patterson at 6'4", 240, and he kind of hobbles off the field. It's one of the reasons why Cam Newton, is such an effective red zone runner. Patterson looks like that.
So down to the 1-yard line, looking to punch it in again on 1st and goal. He's going to take a knee instead. So deciding not to go for it there. And that's how this one is going to end. Virginia Tech 45 and NC State 24. That will be our final score tonight. We've got the huddle coming up next. And the Hokies have to be delighted, Tim, with everything they did here tonight.
Certainly an impressive performance on both sides of the ball. They had to wait long enough to do it, but they delivered.
Our score tonight in our ACC primetime matchup, Virginia Tech 45 and NC State 24. Well, they waited a long time, but they came out firing tonight offensively and defensively. About 1,000 fans on hand. They made a little bit of noise, but Virginia Tech made a lot. They rolled tonight on a Saturday in Blacksburg.
For Virginia Tech, it felt like the preseason and offseason was lasting forever. Heck, to get here today felt like an eternity. And they tweeted this before the game. Virginia Tech football unavailable to participate, players unavailable, 23 of them. 2 full-time coaches, one of them, Justin Hamilton, their defensive coordinator, one of those players, their probable starting quarterback, Hendon Hooker. So we knew it was going to be a battle for these Hokies in this one. Boy, were we surprised by the outcome, especially with how NC State looked in week 1 versus Wake Forest. There's a look at Hendon Hooker out of this one, like 22 of his other teammates. Bailey Hockman early intercepted by Divine Diablo. Take a look at the extension, the execution. Change of possession. First and goal for the Hokies, driving out to the turnover. Raheem Blackshear, 8 yards for the tutty. Here comes the cannon. Oh, come on, he scored it. What's going on? Didn't blast. Didn't blast. Virginia Tech 17-0. More. Quincy Patterson in for this moment. Burmeister was hurt. 15-yard touchdown there. More Patterson. I mean, this guy was dropping dimes. James Mitchell here. Another Hokies TD. Virginia Tech leads 31-7 at that point. Braxton Burmeister would return. He got his first start there for the Hokies, and he finds Khalil Herbert. Takes it 46 yards for the touchdown. But is it a touchdown? Take a look at the replay. Khalil Herbert does a lot of work, but he indeed steps out of bounds right, not so much here, but right there. 2 plays later, Patterson finishes the job. The Hokies roll 45-24. The coveted invite, Katie George and Coach Fuente.
Justin, for your team and all the challenges that you've faced over the last few weeks, I'll start by asking, what did you expect from your group in tonight's game?
Well, I've never been a part of a lead up to a game quite like this in terms of guys being out, guys not being able to practice, getting guys back the day of the game, losing our defensive coordinator the morning of the game. I'm just really proud of the team effort. When I say that, I mean the doctors, the trainers, the people in recruiting that we had to use to chart. I mean, just really a selfless effort by the players and the staff, and just really proud of our group.
You mentioned missing your defensive coordinator. Unfortunately, Justin Hamilton cannot be here. The role as play caller goes to Ryan Smith. That side, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions. What did you think of Ryan Smith just entering that role and what they were able to do on that side?
Well, Ryan is a star. He was ready for the moment. We practiced this in fall camp. I mean, we had our second scrimmage. We had our backup play callers call the scrimmage. And he was absolutely ready. He didn't bat an eye this morning when he was delivered the news. And he was prepared, and he had great support, and the kids played their tails off.
320 yards rushing. Khalil Herbert leads that group. What impressed you most about the run game?
Well, it started off strong. Obviously, they are a big physical front. They were down a couple guys, but the fact that we could move the line of scrimmage helped. And, we didn't get Raheem involved as much, but Khalil certainly was effective and showed quickness and strength, and I'm awfully glad he's here.
Congratulations. Thanks for the time.
You bet. Thank you.
Coach Fuente, take the night off, my friend. What a performance from you, your staff, and your players. And that run game, racking up 300 yards on the ground. Program's most in a season opener since 335 in 2000. The Hokies came to play, EMAC, and they came to play up front, the line of scrimmage, allowing that run game to flourish.
Guys, I already told you I was jacked up about this offensive line. I had them in my top 5 preseason, right at number 3 or 4. But look at this right guard just absolutely destroy this guy. That's getting hit by a Mack truck. You see 74 there, a true sophomore, just bulldozing that guy into the end zone. And that was kind of the theme of the night. You know, we're going to do whatever we want. We're going to average 8 yards a rush and just absolutely go berserk. But I love that. I saw it on the big screen. I was like, man, producer, presser, we got to run this 100 times all night long.
Hey, how about the QBs? I mean, they got some depth. Burmeister goes in there and starts out looking like just a fantastic veteran quarterback. All of a sudden, he gets a cramp in his hand. I never heard of a quarterback missing a few series with a cramp in his hand, but Patterson's there to come in there. And that guy's a beast. He is a giant. And, you know, he looks like a fullback runner, or a big giant tight end, but he could throw the ball well. He did a beautiful job of putting the ball in play, giving his guys a chance to make the play. And the backup quarterbacks, if in fact they are the backup quarterbacks behind Hooker, did a beautiful job tonight.
You know what showed up is exactly what Coach Fuente said, and as far as these guys, they prepared for it. You heard him say that they had the backup coaches, you know, call a game or call a scrimmage in the event that a coach got sick and wasn't able to be a part of the game, and that happened today. You see it with the players. Hendon Hooker, he's not starting, he's not playing, and then 20-plus other guys aren't playing, but you see the backups. They come in and they play great. They don't put a bunch of stress on the quarterbacks by asking them to throw the ball 20-plus times, but the run game was there. Obviously, the offensive line, like EMAC was just saying, played excellent. So this looks like a team that had 2 weeks off to continue to prepare, but they also took advantage of those 2 weeks off. They didn't just waste time. They actually made sure that they were going to be ready to play tonight, and they were.
The Hokies, resilient, a lesson all of us in this country could use right now. So shout out to those guys in Blacksburg coming out there with all the attrition that they endured to get to that moment, but not only to play that game, come out there and shine like they did.